Hey friends, it's me, Erin, your friendly neighborhood energy alchemist with today's Schumann resonance report for Tuesday, for sure. I'm so glad I looked, May the 13th. Okay, you guys, here's our graph. So I have to say, I feel like something's going on. There's an unusual pattern in the graph that is showing up. I don't see this very often, and it's really feeding my sense of something's coming here because all right, here is the graph. This was last night, okay? So around 7 p.m. Central, we got a push of release energy up here. Not a big deal. It was not any more intense than any of the other release energy we've gotten. I didn't necessarily notice it, but I did notice that all day there were a lot of triggers coming up, a lot of little things being kind of needled at a little bit. Okay, so then at around 11 p.m. Central, we get these bars. You see these? And they come in very regular patterns. And there's even like a shadow one here. These very regular patterns. And they go from the top to the bottom. When I checked the Italian graph, there is some red grumblies across the bottom, but there's nothing unusual on the Italian graph. And those are the only two graphs I am even vaguely familiar with. So I didn't check any of the other graphs. This morning I woke up and I have this eerie quiet feeling, kind of that quiet before the storm. I feel like it's unnaturally quiet. Like if you live in the Midwest and you've ever had a bad storm and it kind of brings a tornado, that quiet that comes right before the sky turns yellow and you start to hear that freight train sound. I am full on in a state of anticipation right now. Energetically, it feels like electricity in the air around me, and something feels weird. Something feels off. Now, I want to be very clear that I am not fearful in this. I don't feel like any of us have anything to be fearful about, but it's a sense of deep anticipation of something coming forward that in the long run will be good, but might not be super fun to sort of get through. You know what I'm saying? So physically for me, it's hard to really quantify how this energy is making me feel or affecting me. I feel very anticipatory, like I'm waiting for an eruption to happen. I've been watching the seismic activity build and build and build, and it's right there at the surface, and I'm kind of like waiting for it to erupt. I have heard there are several volcanoes that people are saying this about, and this doesn't feel like a physical volcano. This feels like something different. This feels like something that has a global impact of some kind that feels disruptive, but then clears the way. I am not a prophetic psychic. I can't see the future. I can only read the energy, but this is so pervasive in the energy that I literally cannot ignore it anymore. I just can't. So since I don't know how to tell you to deal with this energy, I will just say, if you have ideas right now, write them down. Even if you can't follow through on them, write them down. This is unusual. So take advantage of it. If you feel like you need to go for a run today, you're anxious jumping out of your body, then go for a run. Do something to make yourself feel a little bit more productive. Don't just sit in the anxiety or the anxious feeling. I don't feel like there's anything for us to fear. I just think that something is about to come forward, like a revelation or a revealing of some kind. Just as an update on the SeptaSync tapes, I've been doing these tapes daily now for a couple weeks, and the way I do them, and I do tape 1 through tape 8, and then I go back and start at tape 1 and go back through them. What I will tell you is that my dreams at night have become far more vivid and far more detailed. For example, last night I was dreaming that I was walking in my neighborhood that I live in, and Adam Scott, the actor, was narrating my life as I was walking. I do love me some Adam Scott, I'm not gonna lie. But he was saying things as she walked down the road and passed all the beautiful flowers. It never occurred to her to stop and smell one of them. And it was like he was pointing out all the stuff I was missing as I was walking around. It was weird because I could hear him in my head, but I couldn't necessarily change my actions. It was the most bizarre feeling I think I've ever had. Interesting though, and kind of brings to my attention that it's easy to lose sight of the good things, right? It's easy to not pay attention to the good things. And the sun popped through. It never hits me like this. I'm standing in the same place I always do, you guys. This is so beautiful. All right, this is what my guides have to say today, friends. There is a feeling of dissension coming forward. Like I said, it's not really disruptive, but destructive, but it does feel a bit disruptive. Dissension is the feeling of things not agreeing, not resonating, not working together. This comes forward to bring up things that we have been reluctant to examine or look at or acknowledge. I don't know on what scale this is, but it feels more like a global scale than just a personal scale. But it's things that we've been reluctant to acknowledge, to look at, to view, that sort of thing. But this can also resonate in your personal space. My guides are saying now is the time to put that work into figuring out who you are, so that when the identities around you start to fall, you don't feel like you've lost your own. That means you have to turn your attention to yourself and recognize that the word selfish is not a bad word. Come on, people. You're the only one that can care for you, so now's the time to turn your attention in that direction. Make better decisions for you and your goals. I'm not saying to be careless. I'm not saying to be rude or mean, but I'm saying you got to put yourself at number one on the list, friends. It's time to stop neglecting ourselves. Change is coming. It's time to move forward. Let's embrace it together. Come on, friends. Let's do it. We can do it. Look at that sun. Oh my goodness. It is a gorgeous day. Even though it's cloudy, it just feels interesting. My lens fogged up. It's all right. I kind of like the aesthetic. All right, are you ready to start your day? Because I am. Let's do it, friends. We're going to take a nice big deep breath in and release. Drop your shoulders. And just remind yourself that today is a great day. The sun is shining, the birds are singing. Even if it's raining where you are, it's still a beautiful day. So what are you gonna do with today? How are you gonna start making actionable steps to move toward the life that you wanna see for yourself? How are you gonna do that? Come on, let's go. I'm ready. Are you? It's a great day, friends. It's a great day.